This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2024 Sunset Trail, model number 222RB, and I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work, okay? So here we are at the door side rear. We have a outside kitchen with a refrigerator, running water, and a grill. Now you have to plug this in. It has a line on the back, a rubber line, and you have to plug it into this quick connect right here. You see it with the yellow plug over it, or yeah, plug slash cover. So you have to plug that in before you can use it, and it takes the LP right from the system. Okay. You also have power stabilizers on this. So the rear switch controls both rear, and then the front switch controls both front jacks. So they're very simple. You just lower it that way. You don't lift the trailer with them. You just take the shake out of it. You stabilize it. Okay. Now you have a power awning with LED strip, outside speakers. This is an on-demand water heater, so you have on-demand water. Keep in mind there's a switch right here on the outside that will turn the system on or off. I mean, during usage, you're gonna, during a camping trip, you're gonna pretty much leave it on, but of course when you put it in storage, you're gonna shut it off. So keep in mind that that's there. I'll show you how this works when we get inside. I'll show you the switches and explain it to you. This is a TV signal out plus power. If you want to put a TV out here, that's the vent for your furnace. Now keep in mind it's a power awning, so when you're putting the awning out, this door will interfere with it a little bit, so you want to put the door at a 90-degree angle from the wall, so the awning arm can come out unrestricted. So okay, this is the front stabilizers here. We got front storage. Okay, so in here, that's the dump hose there. There's a reducer for your power line, your short cord. This is the sprayer that you plug in. There's some ports to plug it in. This small crank here is in case your tongue jack fails. If it happens to fail for any reason, it's a power tongue jack. You can always pull this plug out of it and put that crank on there and crank it manually, so you can always get hitched and unhitched. Now the other crank, which is a little bit different, here, let me get it off of there. It's a cylinder with a slot cut in it, as you can see. That's for the power stabilizers in case they fail. If you come over to the off-door side and look at them, you can see. Let me see if I can get down here low enough. Let me go to the back ones where I can get a better picture of them. Okay, you see you have a shaft with a pin through it. Well, that crank with the cylinder with the slot cut in it will fit right on there. So you can crank these up and down manually in an emergency. So if you ever have, for any reason they don't work, you just use that crank and you can get yourself out of trouble. Okay? So that's what that crank's for. Come back up here. Of course, your power tongue jack, your 2 LP tanks with an automatic changeover regulator. The tanks are full. You have a brand new deep cycle marine battery in there. This is the kill switch for your battery. Right now it's on, of course, but you can shut it off by turning it counterclockwise in case you want to disconnect the battery. We're not plugged into shore power here because we're away from the building, so we're just running on the battery. This is your short cord here. It's a 30-foot, 30-amp cord. And you can see I gave you that little adapter over there that I pointed out. You can put that right on here and plug it in at home if you need to. When it comes to water, it's your city water connection right here. It's the most common way to get water to the trailer. You just screw the hose on there and you're all set. Now if you're camping someplace that doesn't have city water, you can pre-fill your fresh water tank right here. You pre-fill it and then when you get to the campsite, you use the onboard pump to pump the water. All the plumbing will work as though you have city water. You'll just be pumping from the tank. So I'll show you where the switch is for the pump when we get inside. Those are the two ways to get water. This is the black tank flush right here. So after you dump your black tank, which is toilet water and waste, you can leave the valve in the open position. It's important to do that. It says right on the sticker. He always keeps the black valve in the open position. So you leave it open, and then you hook the hose on there. The hose that's at the dump station. Turn it on, it'll spray out the inside of the black tank. Clean off the sensors, that sort of thing. It's just a good thing to do. If there's a working hose at the dump station, it's a good thing to do. So, okay, this is just a drain for your freshwater tank. Okay, your slide room, of course. This type of slide room is called an AccuSlide, in case you ever need to know that. It's an AccuSlide. And I showed you your gray and black dump valves, and there's those two little valves there are the low point drains. Alrighty, this is where your power cord hooks to. You have a ladder, which makes it easy to inspect the roof. The manufacturer states every 60 to 90 days you should go up there and inspect the roof. Make sure there's no damage to any of the roofing material or roofing attachments. You know, that could be caused by low branches or road debris, anything like that. Make sure there's no cracking or separation at the sealant where water can get through, that sort of thing. Also up there you can see that there's a housing for that's pre-wire for a Furrion backup camera kit. So if you ever want to add a backup camera, it attaches right there. Just make sure you get we sell them here, but if you can get them anywhere, if you get one, make sure it's the right one that fits in onto that mount there. Okay. This is where that sprayer that I told you about is right here. That attaches right there. This I haven't. It's locked, but all that's in here are the campground cable hookup or the satellite hookup. That's what's behind that little door. Okay. I see a cat going into the trailer. That must be Shop Cat herself. What are you doing in here, buddy? Huh? Okay, so you get this table that stows if you don't want to use it. Here your control panel is right here. So here, let me get some light here. I'm sorry. Okay. So here's your control panel. You have your slide room right here. Your power awning right here. Never leave the awning out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, roll it in. You have the switch for your water pump here. You use that water pump to pump water out of the fresh water tank if you don't have city water. Remember I showed you that. You also use that to winterize the trailer. You have tank heaters on it, which are heating pads that are on each one of the holding tanks. So basically it extends your camping season, because it has to get colder outside. When these are on, it has to get much colder outside in order to freeze the tank, so you can stay out longer. These are your levels here, you know, battery here and fresh water, black, so on and so forth. Goes up in 1/3 increments. Okay, your TV, it has a remote and it does swing out here. But it's more than just a TV, it's also FM radio, it's Bluetooth, it has HDMI's in the front and the rear, and 2 speaker zones inside the trailer and outside the trailer. So it's more than just a regular TV. This device here is your power converter. This converts AC to DC power. So basically, you have, when you're plugged into shore power, you have AC power here, and these are your circuit breakers like you'd have at home, and they're all labeled. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC on this side. So you have your 12 volt fuses, and they're all labeled here, so that's where the 12 volt comes from. This is also a battery tender, so it'll sense how much energy that your battery needs, the battery on the tongue I'm talking about, and it'll send as long as you're plugged in, it'll send as many amps necessary to keep your battery charged. So when you're plugged in, the power converter will charge your battery, and when you're pulling down the road, your tow vehicle's alternator charges the battery. Okay. Your range. I don't know if the gas is turned on, but we'll see. If not, I'll just talk you through it. So you have 3 knobs here for the burners. This is the oven knob. This is the sparker, clockwise to spark it. And then you have a ambient light here and then an oven light down there. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, so it's that simple. The oven's a little different. I'll talk you through it. There's a pilot light all the way at the back at the bottom, right? I don't know if you can see it spark or not. But what you do is you'll go to the picture of the flame here, and then you depress it and keep it depressed while you're lighting it. Start sparking it until you see the pilot light light. Once it lights, you hold it in for another 10 or 15 seconds to heat up the thermocouple, and you're going to go to temperature, and it cycles as an oven does. When you shut it off, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Okay? Always travel with this shut, or it will break eventually. Range hood, fan, and light. Your microwave works like any other microwave. Your sink, obviously, your faucet. These are sink covers. This is your stuff here. Probably got your remote in there. Yeah, your remote is right here, and all your literature. Okay. The refrigerator is 12 volt DC, so it runs on 12 volts. Okay. This is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should always be on. It should be glowing green. If it's not, get it serviced. It's obviously very important. Your furnace is pretty simple. You're just going to hit the mode button, and we're on off, but you can go through all the different modes, as you can see, by going this way. Wait a minute, let me start again. Going this way, heat, cool, blah blah blah, off. I'll leave it off, and then you set the fan speed, and you click it, and you push it again, and you'll be able to set the temperature. It's very simple, but it's a newer product. We're just starting to see them this last year or so. Of course, the toilet works like any other RV toilet. It sits over a black tank. You have a flush pedal right here. So when you get to the campground, you hook up your power and your water. You come in here, you put a dose of chemical right in the bowl. Then you step on the pedal and hold it down. Just stand on it till at least a gallon of water along with the chemical goes into the black tank. You can put more than a gallon in there, just don't use less. So after you do that, you're all set to use it. If you don't do that, it'll get clogged up, it'll smell bad, it'll just be a real mess. So you always want your chemical and at least a gallon of water. Okay, that's just a vent there. GFCI, all the plugs in the trailer are wired through a GFCI. So if you're using a plug like the one outside that is just a regular plug, it's still wired through this. So if you're using something out there and it pops, you still reset it in here. This is your controller for your on-demand water. We don't have, this runs on AC power. We're not plugged in right now, but what you'll do is you'll push this button and it'll light up the screen. And when you push these buttons here, it'll select the temperature you want the water. It's usually set at 115 or 120, somewhere in there. You can set it to where you want. And basically when it's turned on, as soon as you open the hot water on any faucet, whether it's the shower or the sinks, it'll automatically kick on the burner, and it'll start heating up your water instantly. So you have a non-stop supply. So now it does have safeties built into it. If there's no water supply, for example, then it won't light. It won't light the burner when there's no water there. Things like that. So you have to have you either have to be hooked up to fresh water, let's say city water hookup, or you have to have water in your holding tank with the pump on, so it's ready to pump water out of the tank. You have to have one of those two conditions in order for it to work. Otherwise it will not light. Okay? Works like any other shower. The most important thing I can tell you about this is always use this latch when you're traveling. Never leave it off. If you put this on, these will not slide around independently, but if you leave this off and allow them to just slam around, odds are eventually somewhere down the road one of them is going to crack. So you always want to make sure you have this rubber thing in place. Okay? Hey buddy. Here we have some recliners. Yes. Yep. Recliners. All of your you have shades in here. Pet station. This is your escape window here. It works like they all do. You do this, and then you open it up that way. You push it all the way through. Grab a hold of this knob and pull the screen out, and then you can escape during an emergency. Okay. Mounting bracket for a TV and the hookup, so you can hang a TV in here. Okay. And there's some storage under the bed also. You have sliding doors. Okay. And I think that pretty much covers it. This is another option here. I showed you the option for the Furion backup camera. This is an option for Wi-Fi. It also says 4G on it, but people are not interested in that. They have their phones and that sort of thing. But when it comes to public Wi-Fi, the kit would consist of you can scan the code and look at what they have to offer, but it would consist of a router that attaches right here. It's just like a box, and then there's an antenna that goes on the roof. And basically, you can improve your public Wi-Fi. You get a better signal. So if you use a lot of Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi, it's worth looking into for your family. So all you have to do is scan that code, and it's pre-wired, like I said. So, okay, let me look around. I think that's it. Okay. All right. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about inspecting the roof. That's important. Odds are you won't have to do anything to it for years, but that's why you inspect it, just in case. Stay ahead of any possible problems. And right now this has water in the system. All the antifreeze has been purged, and it's got water in the system, so it's ready to be camped in. Keep that in mind as the temperature drops. It's going to have to be winterized, okay? Thank you.